Hi, it's Mark Bernard with the Bernard Institute for Cybersecurity. I want to thank you for checking out the video today. Today we're going to be talking about asset valuation. This is an important discussion point. The reason why is because, as you know, we talked about a number of different assets, 6 different assets. We talked about information, people, software, hardware, telecommunications, and facilities. Well, if we drill down a little bit and peel off another layer of the information asset, then we're going to get into a discussion that talks about the valuation of the asset. Now, why is valuation important to cybersecurity? Well, it's simple. It's because basically you can implement an endless amount of cybersecurity countermeasures or technology in order to prevent a breach or bad things from happening that happen in cybersecurity land. However, every organization is different. And as you know, we have 16 different industries within the critical infrastructure. Some information is more valuable than others. Not all information is treated equally. And the value of that information helps to establish an important benchmark for the executive team and the governance committee on how much they're willing to invest in cybersecurity. So we need to begin from the very beginning of the process to do valuation so that we can make a decision or help guide the executive team and the governance committee team to making the right decision about how much they should invest in cybersecurity. So asset valuation is important. I'm going to talk about one little topic today, but before I do that, I want to make sure that if you've been enjoying these videos, I hope that you've been sharing them with your colleagues and friends, and I hope that you've been liking them and perhaps you've been subscribing. Please subscribe. You can also subscribe at my website, bernardinstitute.com. But make sure that you like these, because the more that you like my videos, the higher ranking they get and the more people I can share them with. So I appreciate your help. This is, I guess, sort of the trade-off between me sharing free information about cybersecurity programs with you and you being on my team by sharing and distributing this knowledge for me. Thank you. Okay, without further ado, let's talk about valuation. Tangible versus intangible. Now, this is a discussion point that usually you'll have with the finance group, because we know that traditionally in the IT world, that software and hardware, once it's been purchased, it will get written off as a business expense over a 5-year period. So it depreciates. So one of the groups that you can go and talk to about tangible and intangible will be finance. And that can help you kickstart your evaluation process, because some of the other assets are going to be very difficult to provide a value on. But if you follow the cybersecurity approach and the risk management methodology, you'll see how we're going to be able to roll up our risks and our vulnerabilities and our threats in order to provide an overall score for each of the services that your organization provides, whether it's government or commercial sector, or the products that you provide. So we can provide an overall cybersecurity risk rating on that, and we can include the valuation with that so that management can make an educated decision on how much they want to invest. Some assets will be tangible. Tangible assets usually amount to things like cash. So tangible meaning that it has some value to it. Furniture has a value, we buy it. Factory machinery, we buy. Vehicles, the technology equipment that we use in our data centers has a tangible asset. Buildings, stock, equipment, computers, and explicit knowledge. So explicit knowledge, once implicit knowledge has been documented, it becomes explicit, it can have a value. And the way that you determine what that value is that you can do a survey and find out how much your competition might pay for it. That's one way of doing it. You have to be very careful how you do that, because obviously you don't want to tell them that you're selling your information or make it look like that, and then it gets reported back to your boss. Anyway, so tangible has a value to it. Intangible is a little bit different, okay? So it's harder to put a dollar amount on the intangible assets. So you have things like the reputation of your organization. Now, a lot of people will say, Well, if we have a breach of security involves personally identifiable information, then we're going to have to go through some kind of 1 or 2 year process in providing assurance to the people who have their information breached and the organization. So we might pay $100 a record to have credit monitoring and to have any repairs made. So if anybody has their credit exploited from the breach, then we might have to fix that for them. So reputational damage is important. Reputational damage is something that we want to avoid. But the reputation of the organization and the industry will help drive it forward and propel it forward. So for instance, if an organization is seen as being a trusted service provider, they'll probably have more customers. But if they have a lot of breaches, their reputation might go downhill and their competition might get their customers instead. Trade secrets is another area. This might be your competitive advantage, right? Maybe you do something differently than your competitors do. Maybe you have some special techniques or something that make your products better or your services better. So you don't want to leak that information. And we talked about classification before. So some of these things might have a restricted level of classification or at least a confidential level. There's patents. Patents get registered. Obviously, if you own a patent, it's been registered, probably in the U.S. Patents don't really have a value, but it's something that you protect so that other people can't steal your ideas and use them. The logo, the company logo is important. It has a value to it. If somebody uses your logo and you're a well-trusted organization, then they might assume whoever's using your logo is trusted, and that person might commit fraud or a crime. There's copyright. So any of the types of material that you produce, again, you invest time and money and effort into producing marketing materials or any kind of documentation that you use to onboard customers or to sell customers to. So it has a value to it. And then there's brand value. So overall, how much is your brand worth? So if you have a company like Kellogg's or like Morgan Stanley, it has a value to that brand. And when you use that brand, people associate with a certain level of trust. So it has a value, but it's intangible. You can't really put a finger on it and say how much that's worth. Absolutely. There's self-developed software. So if you have custom software that you develop, then obviously it has some kind of value, just like licensed software would. There's customer data. Obviously that has a value. We discussed that a few minutes ago with reputational damage. If you have a breach of security and customer data gets stolen, then you might have to go through a period of time where you pay to have those records monitored. Trademarks have some kind of value, but we're not sure how much. Goodwill, again, has some kind of value. Tacit knowledge has a value, and so does implicit knowledge. So there's a number of intangible assets and tangible assets that can have values. Again, the tangible assets are going to be easy to put a value on them. The intangible, it's going to be more difficult, so you're going to have to be a little bit creative. But always remember, when you're putting a value on the asset, whatever it is, make sure that it's also believable, because you're going to be presenting this to the governance committee, and if it doesn't look like it's real, they're going to let you know. So make sure that it looks real, and use that in order to gauge how much the organization should invest in their cybersecurity appliances and countermeasures and the infrastructure and architecture around the cybersecurity program. All right, so that's all I have to say for now. We're going to be doing more evaluation as we build an asset inventory database. That's coming up. That will be a different video, of course, because I'm breaking down the cybersecurity program into individual topics. This topic is about tangible versus intangible assets. Now, if you like these videos that I'm sharing, please share them with your friends and your colleagues. Be sure to like and subscribe if you can. You can find me on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. You can also find me on my website at thebernard-institute.com. Okay, and you can also email me or call me, text me even. You can leave comments after the end of the video if you have some specific comment or some suggestion or idea that you would like me to take into consideration. Again, please like and share, and I hope that you have a great day, and thank you.